Hello my friends and welcome back. It's Wednesday, it's hump day, so happy Wednesday. Half of the week we have survived. You cannot say that about the guys you can see on the screen right here. I don't know what to call them. Teletubbies or elves or Russian meat. I have tent assault soldiers. See, this is the new Russian tactic. You put the tents around them because that makes them invisible. These are the new invisibility cloaks of the Russian army. This is a real video. I don't even know why they do this. I can assume it might be against the winter conditions, against the wind and the rain, because that's really bad right now. If it's 0, -1 or plus something around 0, it's gonna rain, and it's kind of this kind of like wet ice rain. It rains on you, it immediately freezes, and it's wet at the same time. It's super weird, but it's really hard to survive in. So this is supposed to protect them, the troops, against that ice rain in Ukraine. That rhymed. Maybe also supposed to protect them against the heat thermal camera drones. I don't think that works. Anyway, these teledubby tactics, new tactics, the Russian soldier is saying they ordered 10 test tents. They will test them out with this unit, send them on an assault, see how they do. If all of them die, or if only 8 of them die, that means 2 of them survived, so they can do that again. That's wonderful. But let's see what these things actually are. Because even you can buy them if you want to be like a Russian meat assaulter. You can buy the very same tent if you want to. Look at that. It's actually a toilet. For campers. You can go and have your portable toilets in it. It actually protects you from the rain, from the wind, yada yada. Exactly like it does the Russian soldier. It has privacy, comfort, convenience, and multi-function. Everything you need when going to occupy a foreign land. So yeah, go and buy this tent. Be like the Russian meat assaulter. Or don't, if you have any brain cells. My friends, you remember when the United States captured 2 Russian tankers, and Russia deployed a submarine and another, like a destroyer I think it was, to protect one of the submarines near the British coast. It sent them to intimidate the US forces that were about to capture the tanker Bela 1. And it turns out US Navy didn't give a flying F or a sailing F, because they captured it right under the nose of the Russian Navy. Which is a big middle finger to the Russian Navy, showing that it's a paper tiger. Well, we now know why the Russians worked so hard to try to prevent the United States from capturing the tanker. I mean, this tanker was supposed to be empty, because it never filled up in Venezuela. It turned back before. So why they send a Navy to protect an empty tanker? Because it wasn't empty. We didn't know what was in it. Now we do. The Bela 1, seized by the United States Coast Guard, was found to have contraband hidden in its structure. 1.5 tons of gold from Artur Minera, cash in euros, and electronic guidance components for drones were found. 3 different categories of contraband. 1.5 tons of gold. I am not that good at math here, but what is close to $100 million? Something like that. You can put the number in the description, in the comments below, but it's like tens of millions worth in gold, plus cash, plus the electronic components. No wonder the Russian submarine was scrambled to defend this tanker, because it had a lot of valuables on it. Knowing Trump, how he acts, of course he's gonna take the gold, he's gonna take everything, he's gonna take the damn ship. This shows us that the Russian Shadow Fleet, which is huge by the way, we're talking about hundreds and hundreds of tankers that don't have insurance and a flag country, that sail under the radar. They're carrying all sorts of sanctioned items, gold, perhaps diamonds from Russia. Russia also exports diamonds, gold and silver. They can carry all that, and oil, and everything else that Russia wants to export under the sanctions. So seizing these ships, very important, and the way US did it, wonderful. Finland has also done that. Estonia, I think we need to be next. We need to do that. We do have the video of US capturing the second tanker Sofia. They captured 2 tankers actually. So it's pretty much identical, I'm guessing. So here, United States forces capturing Russian Shadow Fleet tanker Sofia from the Caribbean. Run by Captain Jack Sparrow from Russia, Pirates of the Caribbean. This is their Black Pearl, captured by the US chopper and US Special Forces. See, they land. Oh, the rope goes down. Nice. And as soon as their feet hit the ground, I see sprinting. That's wonderful. That's what you should see. All of them sprint in a beautiful way to the superstructure of the ship, where the crew is hidden themselves inside, possibly barred themselves, but it's no problem. They do get in and they seize everybody. They capture everybody. There were Russian citizens. There were also Ukrainian citizens, by the way, there on the crew of the ship. And they will be tried under the US law, which is another huge middle finger to Putin. Russian citizens, if United States would buy into the Russian propaganda of their might, they would not dare touch Russian citizens. They would send them back because they don't want to piss off Russia. But since Russia is a massive paper tiger and their propaganda is an empty shell, they're gonna try these Russian citizens under the United States law, and that's beautiful. The US has just shown Russia that its entire Grand Fleet is merely a propaganda facade. Marinera in the North Atlantic, Sofia in the Caribbean, Marinera, yeah, Bela 1 Marinera, they changed the name. Two sanctioned tankers, and the Americans seize them right under the noses of the Russian warships and submarines. What do we see? Hundreds of thousands of tons of propaganda about naval power turned into static props for an American operation. The US is baring its teeth and exposing Russia's powerless theater. Your fleet is just a scenery, a single slap that won't be forgotten. The whole world sees that Russia can only boast loud names and scary images, and that also goes to the Rezhnik missile, right? Since they fired that to Dnipro last year and now to Lvov, 2 missiles were fired all together, we were able to take them apart because the remnants of the missile were on the ground and people saw what was in them. They were gyroscopes and parts made in the 60s, 70s and 80s, so they're 50 years old technology. It's ancient. It's not supposed to be the newest, baddest Russian missile, Rezhnik, with the price tag of $40 million. You know, Yuri Gagarin flew to space with the same gyroscope. It's like 50 years ago. Meaning, yeah, their entire propaganda, the image of the Russian might, it's an empty shell, and all you need to do is expose it. What you can do is just stand firm against it, and it will just fall over. That's what paper tigers do. Continuing on this, because I have more, some Russians, like it's funny how Russians post stuff online when things don't go their way. It's always funny. The Americans are cynically abusing the fact that the entirety of the Russian elite is still celebrating New Year's and Christmas, and no one has been at the office in over a week, saying that that's why they captured the tanker. If Putin was in office, you know, he was celebrating, he would have been, bam, hit those ships. Yeah. The entire Russian government was partying, that's why they let the tanker be captured. And coming back to today, since this happened over a week ago, coming back to today, connecting to the tankers, Ukraine is also rolling up their sleeves, hitting Russian tankers. Russian regime channels are quoting Bloomberg and Rehi report that at least 2 crude oil tankers of the Russian Shadow Fleet have been struck in the Black Sea. The Matilda and Delta Harmony. Delta Harmony is definitely a stripper name, I'm sorry. According to those sources, the ships were about to load oil when they got hit by UAVs. The cargo equipment was damaged. Look at that. Both tankers near the Russian port of Novorossiysk, and they were hit. So yeah, the US and Ukraine both focusing down on Russian Shadow Fleet. Every country should do that. These ships, they're a gold mine. Just take whatever is on them because they're super illegal. In Estonia, we had a muddy Christmas in 2025, but now it finally snowed, and a lot. Every morning I can see my footprints in the snow. They show others where I went. This is fine. Unless it happens online, where my digital footprint remains for anyone to see. This is why I use Surfshark VPN. Using a VPN is like wearing pants. All the important stuff stays private and secure when you step your foot outside. A VPN, or a virtual private network, covers your whole online activity. Once your device connects to the internet, all the information is encrypted or blurred out in a way. That way, your online activity is hidden from all the snoopers and trackers. Now, whenever my information is somehow leaked online, I get a data breach alert. which notify me the moment my email, ID, credit card or other personal data gets leaked online. If it happens, I'll know instantly. Since it is tedious to get all the security services from different providers, I just use Surfshark One, which gives me a VPN, alternative ID, and an antivirus. By the way, you also get incognito features in Surfshark One Plus. A little perk I enjoy is their ads and malware extinction. No advertisements or cookie pop-ups. Hate those things. Surfshark also helps out while traveling. Your favorite shows, sports or subscriptions might not be available when you're abroad. With Surfshark's 4,500 plus fast servers in 100 countries, you can connect to your home region while traveling and keep watching what you usually do, just like you never left. And they have a 30-day money-back guarantee. Take your time to try out the services and experience the whole Surfshark VPN potential. Go to surfshark.com/Artur or use the code Artur at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. Thank you Surfshark for sponsoring today's video. Now my friends, I want to give you a perspective of a Russian meat assaulter who just got back from an assault, meaning he survived and he had the strength to go back and the courage to go back because they will be sent again, obviously. But let's just see the emotions because they're so fresh. Just got out of the fight with guys, boys, the dead. Anyway, we got out. There's a few bags, of course. Always there's a few body bags. It's the Russian army. Got out of such an ass that it's just total effing hell. Their ghost, well done, handsome. Something like that, friends. I like how he's speaking, but he's saying absolutely nothing. We're in shock. They're carrying the dead. Wounded. Another body bag. In short, guys, we're effing out of the hell. Yeah, we heard that already. Say hi. Boys, hi, here's my group. They pulled through with me for 8 days of hell. Here's Ugol. Ugol. It's like a Russian version of Gollum in the Lord of the Rings, you know. Ugol. Gollum. Everyone here is worthy. Video from memory. The wounded. I'll send it, of course. He's yapping, but he's saying absolutely nothing. The guy's leg almost torn off. Okay, yeah, you get the idea. I just wanted to share you what the expressions were before they're sent back in, because none of these guys are probably alive by now. They're sent right back in. But now, my friends, in the previous video, I showed you some African mercenaries. They were singing, dancing, and at the next moment, Russians strapped the anti-tank mines to their chest and sent them to the heavens. Well, what's the story? Why are there so many African mercenaries? They don't want to fight. They're scammed into fighting. Here is a story of an Ugandan volunteer. Hey, sorry, not volunteer. It's a habit. Ugandan, not even a mercenary. He wanted to go to Russia to get a job. And then he was forced on gunpoint to sign the contract. Let's just watch his story so you know how these African scams happen and these African fighters happen in the Russian army.
I am Artur Richard. I was born 1982. I am a Ugandan. I have 2 daughters and my wife.
Oh, damn it.
I used to work as a cleaner in the supermarket. Sometimes as a border cyclist. In the supermarket, they pay me, they only give me $50 per month.
$50 per month. So from that to go to, like, Russia is the at least garbage, ultimate garbage in the European continent, right? The cheapest and poorest country. And still, they have higher wages than Uganda. So people really naturally want to go there to work.
Somebody found me on the street and said there are some jobs in Russia. Jobs to work in the supermarket, jobs to work in the factory, jobs to work as a security guard at the airport, jobs to be a cleaner. and they are wearing good paying jobs.
Very good paying jobs. I would assume these jobs in Russia, if it's in Moscow, St. Petersburg, they pay more. Might be $300-400 per month, maybe 500. So comparing to that Ugandan wage that he got as a supermarket worker is 10 times as much. In European Union, that will be 30 times as much. But he cannot get in, so he goes to Russia, naturally.
Then I said, okay, I get it from the bank in a circle.
So he got a loan from the bank to buy plane tickets. This story gets worse and worse. You have to loan money to buy plane tickets to go to Russia to make back that money.
On 4. I didn't know that we were going to Brashka. Me, I knew we are going to the supermarket. And they said, you are...
Sorry, I shouldn't be making fun of
here. But sorry, guys, you are joining Russian what?
You arrive in Russia expecting big money, big money, dollar signs in the eyes. I'm gonna be working in the supermarket, and the Russians say, sorry guys, you're gonna be joining the Russian military. Congratulations.
Then we told them that, no, this is not what brought us here. They said there's nothing we can do. You can't cross the gate. The gate is locked. He put us on a gunpoint, and he said, you sign these papers. He said, you have to sign on Uganda Point. And they drove us. They're
pretty much working. You might think this is new and they invented it. No. The Tsarist Russia for the last, let's say, 300 years, right? They had nekruts. It's a word very similar to what you think it might mean, but it's not. Nekrut means every area occupied by the Tsarist Russia has to send, a certain amount of quote of people to serve in the army for 5 years, 7 years, 15 years, 20 years, depending on the time. It was changed all the time, but it was, 10 to 20 years. Let's say an Estonian farmer has 7 sons. That's not unusual at like 1800. They had to send a certain amount of these sons as nekruts to the Tsarist army. They were forced. They were forced, if necessary, on gunpoint, on musket point, whatever weapons they were using back then. This is the very same routine they have used for centuries. There's nothing new about it. And of course we knew it because we have been living with it for the last forever, and every country next to Russia knows it. But this information might come as new to the Germans, for example. Oh, they're forcing on gunpoint to join the Russian army, sign the papers. Yeah, they have been doing that for centuries. Nothing literally has changed. That's the Russian Empire.
In a place which was dark and in the forest. And they were telling us this is the Russian army. The underground was horrible. It was a bad place because there were bed bugs, and bed bugs were biting us. And in the
I'm sorry, I shouldn't make fun of this, but I know in the US they have a saying, don't let the bed bugs bite. I guess in Uganda they don't have that saying because they let the bed bugs bite.
Ground, just eat biscuits and water. My escape.
Sorry, I paused. I gotta say, I have my condolences to this guy. I do, unlike the Russians, I do feel bad for this guy.
Kept at dark. I ran. Then I reached where they are. Then I said, help me, please. I am innocent, help me. Then they stopped. They said, turn around. But they were using signs. Then I turned around. They said, where are you coming?
Also, I gotta say that he's from Uganda. It's one of the poorest nations on earth. And he speaks better English than most of the Russians, which don't. So it's already amazing.
From... I said I have escaped. This is the Ukrainian army. Feel okay, you are in safe hands now. Don't worry.
This story illustrates just that Russian army and the Russian Empire and the way they do things has not changed in the last 3 centuries. What a surprise there. For two decades almost, 2000 to 2022, the European Union countries fell for the trick that Russian propaganda was exporting, that Russia has changed, that they're now civilized. We never believed that. So for us Estonians, it was really difficult to understand why the Germans were building these pipelines, Nord Stream 1 and 2, to buy Russian gas. They are buying from the savages. For us, it seems like, hey, you're making a deal with the devil. Why are you doing this? But yeah, they fell for the propaganda. Well, now we see it's all the same that it was in the 1700s, even the same methods of getting soldiers. Alright, it's a long story to follow, so I gotta give you something short and funny to laugh at now. I bring to you the new Russian robot to do, I don't know what, something, right? It's a robot that moves on its own. Nice little robot. Many things it can do. It can deliver supplies. It can look awesome. It's a Russian Wally. It's a robot, right? They deploy it immediately to the front to deliver these supplies to the guys fighting in the trenches up there. What a nice idea. The future is now, old man. And full throttle ahead it goes. Happy Russian Wally robot. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go, be free, escape. And it's gone. Blown to smithereens. Yay. And they just got it. They were so happy. For a moment. It's so easy to make them happy and it's so easy to take it all away. Damn it. Do you remember the Russian enclave of Transnistria? It is part of Moldova, but it's a separatist region controlled by 1,500 Russian soldiers who are in it. And it's really living in the 90s or 80s. It's really down in time. Now, it has been completely blockaded. As of January 1st, 2026, Ukraine and Moldova has completely halted the supplies to Transnistria. Russian troops have been caught in a trap. Positions along the border segment have been reinforced, customs controls tightened, and the airspace is closed. Around 1,500 Russian soldiers are now under blockade, cut off from fuel equipment and rotation capabilities. There are no more grey routes. Everything is controlled in and out. So, this Russian enclave of Transnistria, they had a huge goal at the beginning of 2022 invasion. Connect to Odessa and then to Transnistria, making the land corridor to there, cutting off Ukraine from the Black Sea, making it a landlocked country, and through that also controlling Moldova because they have forces connecting up to Transnistria. None of that materialized. So now this enclave, they're gonna lose it. I always said it's gonna be the reality. Russia will lose this enclave, this separatist region that they are forced in this conflict. Transnistria is Moldova. It will be Moldova once again. It's just, you gotta go through the time. Give it 1-2 more years, it's gone. It's gonna be gone. Another part of Russian influence that is just falling to pieces. And I will end today's video with thoughts from a Russian oligarch, a Russian billionaire who makes a lot of money in Russia, who is in the Russian capitalist markets, and I cannot understand why Putin and his government is doing things as they are, because obviously the country is going bankrupt and he would like to do things differently. Russian billionaire Oleg Deripaska sharply criticized the state of the Russian economy, predicting the bankruptcy of thousands of companies. Quote now, "We're just stupidly squandering everything that was managed to be mobilized in 22 and 23 through such hard work and persistent work." Although that is a bit funny. 22 and 23, Putin started pumping tens of billions from the National Welfare Fund to the military-industrial complex. Meaning it's not hard work, it's just a massive money injection. You don't gotta do hard work when you can throw money at the problem. When the money runs out, everything collapses. So it's not hard work, it was just a lot of money. Some extremely primitive experiment is underway, which will end ingloriously with the bankruptcy of thousands of companies and enterprises that are quite capable of working for the good of our God-chosen country. Oh, we got that propaganda also. Nice. According to him, all business-minded and reasonable people in the country share this opinion. Be careful, Mr. Oligarch. If you're business-minded and reasonable and you share this opinion, you might as well all fly out of the window. Be very careful what you say. Anyway, Russian government, Russian economy is going down the drain. It has been happening for the last 4 years. They got that money injection in 23, it went up. Now it's just going down to the mud. And I've been saying that as many times that it almost gets boring like a parrot. But it takes time. Russia is a behemoth of a country. These things take a lot of time. Such a behemoth dies slowly, but it is dying. It just takes its time because it's, you know, such a massive country. Yeah, let's give Russia time to die. Just gotta give it some space and time to die. That's a great way to end the video, I think. I will see you again on Friday and then Monday, Wednesday, Friday again. Definitely subscribe to the channel to be notified when I upload. And as always, until my next video, Slava Ukraini and bye-bye. Go to surfshark.com/Artur or use the code Artur at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. Thank you Surfshark for sponsoring today's video.